Hey guys, this is Jeck from the Jeck Sitter and welcome to another vlog. So for today's video, we are going to do another episode of my Life in Straya series. And as I mentioned from my previous vlog, which you can find the link up here, today we are going to talk about being an emergency nurse in the pandemic. So if you are interested to watch, keep watching. So before we proceed with the video, let us first define what is a pandemic. A pandemic is an epidemic of infectious diseases that have spread across a large region, across continents, or worldwide. In this case, with COVID-19,
you know what COVID-19 stands for?
It's coronavirus 2019. Coronavirus disease 2019. That's what COVID-19 stands for. Anyway, yeah, that's what a pandemic means. So what is an epidemic? Kasi yun nga, pandemic, epidemic. Epidemic is the incidence of infectious diseases in just a community, so localized siya, while the pandemic is worldwide or in large regions or across continents. So that's fact for the day. Alright, so how is it being an emergency nurse during the pandemic? To give you a quick glimpse of how I look before my shift and after my shift, here it is. Hey guys, this is Jeck from the Jeck Sitter. As you can see, I'm in my car. I'm in my uniform, I'm in my scrubs, got my scrub cap, still twin stars, and I'm on my way to work. So I'm just gonna take a video of me going to work and me after work, since I can't really take a video inside my workplace for privacy reasons. So okay, I'm here at work. I'm just gonna wear my mask before I go in because that's policy. It's hard when you're using one hand. Stretch it a bit. There you go. Alright, and I will see you after my shift. Bye. Alright, it's 10:14 in the evening. I just finished my shift. It's dark. Walking on my way to my car. I'm tired. There you can see me. It's a bit of light. Hi, now in my car, I can finally take my... So as you can see, these are not wrinkles, this is a tape. It's to avoid pressure sore when we're wearing the N95 mask. Most of the shift, I was wearing the the round ones, which was really uncomfortable. Oh, I'm still puffing. So that was my shift for today. A bit busy. It's just, it takes double the effort, double the work, having to wear the N95 mask the whole shift, donning and doffing the gown every time you have a suspected COVID patient. But otherwise it's the same. It's a normal busy Tuesday or weekday we have, and that's it. So I'll talk more about being a nurse during this pandemic, so you better keep watching. So there you go. Being a nurse, not even an emergency nurse, not a theater nurse, not whatever nurse, being a nurse as it is very challenging during this time. As you know, all over the world, there have been issues about nurses or doctors that are dealing with the pandemic, period. Like in the Philippines, there are a lot of nurses who have resigned. In America, we've all heard of the shortage of PPE there. They have to reuse their PPE and everything. In Australia,
however,
it's not that bad. I mean, there are problems with lack of nurses. It's just the demand at the moment is really high, especially in the aged care sector. And me working in an emergency department in a private hospital, I would be able to say, at least I am lucky in my workplace, the job that I have, because we don't see high-risk patients. Only see the low-risk ones. What do you mean by low-risk? Those are the ones that have not been in contact with anyone known to have the virus or suspected of the virus. They don't work in the healthcare sector or They haven't traveled overseas, interstate. There's no like known exposure basically. So we see those kinds of patients. However, in the public, like high risk, low risk, it doesn't matter. You can present to the public hospital. Let's talk about the challenges of being an ED nurse or ER nurse. It's called ED here in Australia, emergency department, compared to America or Philippines emergency room. Here it's called ED. One of the challenges of being an ED nurse in Australia during this pandemic is the ever-changing policy protocols every day. I remember when the pandemic first started around March, the protocols kept changing like literally every day. Second is fear of the unknown. By that I mean patients that present in ED. For example, a patient can just come in with abdominal pain and then that patient spiked a fever. Fever is one in the criteria to be isolated for suspected COVID. So pre-COVID situation, we would know that it's just something abdominal, maybe an infection in the abdomen or whatever. But then now, because you don't really know if that fever is caused by the abdominal infection or something, we have to isolate them. There is that fear every day going to work because you don't know who you are interacting with, patient, staff, doesn't matter. Just don't know if they have it or they don't have it. Third is hospitals are not built for the pandemic. Sadly, I think all hospitals, probably all over the world, they're not made to deal with the pandemic. As far as I know, emergency departments are built like just having curtains in between and then bay 1, bay 2, bay 3, something like that. And then there's not many single rooms or closed door cubicles that can accommodate a number of people that needs to be isolated. Well, that's what I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can leave a comment below if you know a hospital or an institution that's built for a pandemic. The fourth one would be personal. My fear is that I could be an asymptomatic carrier. Asymptomatic carrier. There you go. Yes, because I go to work, although I have all the PPE and everything, practice hand hygiene, every measure that I can do to prevent getting it. You just never know.
It just bothers me sometimes.
But then what can you do? You just try and do your best. And hand hygiene. Hand hygiene. Hand hygiene. Fifth one, or another challenge, is you are expected to be the one to provide human interaction to patients. As I mentioned earlier, visitors are not allowed in the hospital here in Australia since June, I think, or July was it. Visitors are not allowed at all. So as soon as they step into the emergency department inside our doors, we talk to the family.
Ay my gosh, lady.
Alright, so we talk to the family and tell them that unfortunately they're not allowed to enter the department or even the hospital. Communication can be done only through FaceTime or phone calls, video calls, ganon. The only interaction they get is the one from the nurses and the doctors. So sometimes, you know, orderly, kitchen staff, but then, yeah, mainly the nurses. That's pretty challenging. Like, you're the only one that they can talk to in person. You're the only one who can hold them or at least like sort of comfort them when they're down while you're wearing your gloves and your PPE and all that. So yeah, I feel that's like a pretty big responsibility.
Part of the job.
By the way, look at my shirt and lady. See? Frenchies for life. Woohoo! Another challenge is getting dehydrated. Oh my gosh, wearing the masks for for a long time means that we can't just take it off and drink water or drink juice or whatever. Unlike before, that even if we don't get any breaks because it's busy, at least we have our water bottle just there, very accessible, and you just drink your life away. But with the mask, once you have it on, you're not supposed to be touching the front or taking it on and off and all that. So basically, if you take it off, you have to discard it because infection control. Another challenge is,
I don't know, I actually lost count of the challenges.
but another challenge is the psychological fatigue. As I said earlier, you have these fears, you have these uncertainties. The PPE just makes you very tired and you just go through a lot of emotions and your brain just gets tired. It can't process everything. It gets overwhelmed. Apart from that, on your day off, you can't really go anywhere Well, that's here in Victoria, by the way, not all over Australia. So you get psychological fatigue. So that's one of the things you have to deal with being a nurse in the pandemic. And lastly, very important, is the challenge of wearing of wearing personal protective equipment or PPE. So around March, we started wearing these surgical masks. Yan. When was it? I think since 2 weeks ago, we started wearing the N95. This is what the N95 looks like. So I bought a box back in April because I was scared that we were gonna run out of PPE here in Australia, like the situation in America. So I secured myself some masks and I just prepared myself for doomsday, basically. So this is the N95. This is what we wear every day in the emergency department.
It's pretty tight. And, okay, wait.
Oh, that's what it looks like. You have to pinch the middle to sort of secure it. So, okay, I don't have my hair up, but at work I have my hair up. And this is how we wear the N95 mask. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take it off. First time I wore this, I was a bit panicky because I am claustrophobic. So I checked my oxygen saturation, it was 99%. So then I just told myself it's mind over matter when wearing the N95 mask, okay?
Mind over matter. You're gonna survive.
So the best one is the duckbill. This is also an N95. This is what's recommended when looking after COVID patients. N95. But this is the most comfortable one, the duckbill. I have only a few of this, which I bought from Chemist. And I just want to save it for the rainy day. It's called a duckbill because it kind of look like a duck when you know. See? Yeah. And
it's comfortable. Like the best ever.
So those are the masks that I have used or we have used in the hospital setting. And other PPE would include the gown, the goggles, the face shield, or a hat. Our PPE at work is the face shield or the goggles. So I wear the face shield, which I don't have with me because I don't bring it at home.
Because of germs, you know.
So face shield and then the mask, N95, and then the gown. So we wear that when we are taking care of suspected patients or suspected COVID patients, should I say. Those are the things we deal with day in, day out when we're at work. So that's how it is being a nurse in Australia during the pandemic. Key message for this video once again is hand hygiene, social distancing, and wear your mask. Follow the restrictions.
Come on guys, we can do it. We're halfway there.
And hopefully this will end very soon. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any suggestions on my next Life in Straya series video, please leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button down below and like this video. Everyone stay safe, everyone stay healthy. See you next time. Bye.